Joining me now to get through the big political stories of the day is Nationals Senator Matt Canavan. Matt, welcome. As I said before, obviously we've been talking all day about Woolworths. Now you've got Aldi has joined in the caper of casting Australia Day aside.
Well, it's just shocking, isn't it, that our big corporates don't seem to have got the message, especially from their involvement in the Voice referendum last year, that most Australians just don't want our supermarkets, our major corporate entities to play politics. They just want to provide good services. And, we have seen a massive increase in retail prices. And, I think most of that's actually at the feet of the government and their energy policies and industrial relation policies. That's why inflation's been high. But we don't need our corporates out there trying to lecture us. And this ridiculous weak excuse somehow that the demand for these products is low is just laughable. Look at the other things they stock in the Woolies shelves. I mean, I don't think tofu demand is flying off the shelves. I don't think veggie burgers demand is going through the roof. But they still stock them, don't they? They're not taking them off the shelves. I think they're hitting Australia Day. We all know why they're hitting Australia Day products, because they just don't seem to like this country. And I agree completely with Peter Dutton. If they don't like you, if they don't like Australia, shop somewhere else. Go down to your local IGA. Shop there. I know they've always got their good local community small businesses there. Shop there and back your country, back your community, and say no to the big corporates.
100%. Look, the left have been very good at boycotts for a long time. They're very quick to run them. And often they achieve things. If nothing else, it gives a scare. And that is what is needed. Your dollar does matter. Only spend your dollar with businesses that you think deserve it. Spending dollars, speaking of, there's trouble at Queensland's Paradise Dam near Bundaberg. The state-owned operator is abandoning it now and starting over because the construction defects are apparently beyond repair. Now, this thing opened in 2006. By 2019, it was found to be riddled with problems. There was 4 years of work and $1.2 billion in repairs still not fixed. What on earth is going on?
Look, it's very, very sad. I think we've got to keep in mind here the impact on the farmers in this region. They've had their water use cut, which effectively means their income is cut because they can produce less than they were promised and they were planned to do, that they'd made investments on the back of. And there was some light at the end of the tunnel here when both the Liberal National Party, when we were in government, and then Labor Party, as an election promised to rebuild this dam, and that gave some hope. And now that hope's been dashed once again. Look, I don't know exactly the issues here or the new issues that have arisen, apparently, with the existing much reduced capacity dam. I just hope it can be fixed and fixed as soon as possible. So, look, it seems positive that the governments are continuing on with a solution here to build a new dam. It's a shame that couldn't have been settled on earlier rather than later, but I do think we've just got to focus on the future now for those farmers and get something in place as soon as possible. It does raise the point, though, in the question, if we can build a dam there at Bundaberg for the cost of more than $1 billion, why aren't we building the Connors Rivers Dam in North Queensland? Why aren't we building the Dungowan Dam in northern New South Wales? These were dams that were funded under the coalition government. That funding's been stripped away by the new government. It seems they're only building this one because the Queensland Labor government were backing it. They're just not backing dams right across the country.
Man, why aren't we building dams all over the shop? I mean, for heaven's sake, we know as a country, droughts and flooding rains, it has ever been thus, and we just never seem to learn the lesson. Now you've got the United States. They've become the world's biggest exporter of natural gas. Shipments in 2023 overtook Australia and Qatar. I mean, we just cannot get any projects off the ground here to extract gas in Australia because governments won't allow it. We have the resources. We're going to need it for ourselves as much as the rest of the world needs it. Now we let the US take over.
Well, look, I'm really glad you're covering this story because it's something that our media has almost been completely silent about in the past sort of 6 months or so. And that's the amazing resurgence in investment in oil and gas around the world, except for in Australia. In the US, in the Middle East, there is massive expansion of their oil and gas sector. This data confirms that the US overtaking us. So just a few years ago, the US only exported about a quarter of the gas that we export currently, and now they're overtaking us. It's an amazing surge. The other day, the US just set a record for them of 20 million barrels of oil a day produced. Well over their domestic demand, and gas is simply a byproduct from their oil industry, and that's what's surging this gas supply. But little old Australia, we've got the gas resources, we've got the gas reserves, but we're not a country that's open for investment now under this Labor Green government. We've got projects held up in court, we've got a resources minister asleep at the wheel, not trying to push these projects through, and there's no welcoming mat here. Investors, Japanese investors, others, don't feel welcome in this country to invest in our nation. That's why they're going elsewhere, to the US, to the Middle East. And all this rubbish about net zero, the other countries are ignoring that. We're little old Australia is trying to change the temperature of the globe on our own. And that just means we're getting less investment, less jobs, and eventually we're going to end up poorer because we'll have lower exports to fund all our public services.